I think we can all agree that social media is a new way to make money in today's society. However, what happens when one person goes from the 9 to 5 to begging for money on TikTok? We're going to take a deep dive into this content creator. So let's get into it. So currently, there's a content creator going viral at the moment for a very weird reason. Basically, his whole content has always been, promoting the 9 to 5 job. He's recording himself all the time and doing, day in the life videos. He's done that for, I think, about 700 days and things of that nature. So he's done quite a lot. However, recently, he's quit doing this kind of content and actually left his 9 to 5 because he decided that he wants to build his own legacy. He wants to make his own money. He wants to do his own thing and stuff like that. I guess when you look at his content, you kind of make sense as to why he decided to just abandon his whole original way of making content, because it can be quite overbearing every day recording what you're doing, getting the nice details, making sure it's in good quality, setting up a camera and blah, 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 editing. It can be a pain. And on top of that, you have to actually work a proper 9 to 5, make sure you're getting your job done correctly and make sure you're meeting the stats and the quota and the expectations that they have for you. Yeah, that's too much for one person. Now, some people would say that this is a good thing for the simple fact that he's left the rat race or the matrix and stuff like that. So he's doing a good thing for himself. But others would say this is a bad thing because from what social media has said, he said stuff like, oh, well, you've promoted a 9 to 5 this whole time being normal, and now you've left that 9 to 5 to go be a content creator, which I don't see why people are surprised about, because the guy did say that eventually he would like to leave, that it's okay to have a good 9 to 5 job as your first stable set of income, and then you can leave. The guy simply did what he said he was going to do. So I don't get why people have put him in a box as if he could only do a 9 to 5 for their pleasure and amusement. Don't really get it, but okay. However, the problem now, which is he's on TikTok begging his subscribers for money, and it's not a good look. I won't lie, it's not a good look and stuff like that. And a lot of people are trying to make sense of this, like, oh, well, you preached as a 9 to 5, stuff like that. I think a lot of people need to understand something about individuals, right? Individuals are allowed to change. Now, I did speak about this in the last video that if you're a content creator leading a certain type of change, you better make sure that you're leading that change well, because as soon as you assume yourself to be a leader of a movement, make sure you stand being that leader of that movement. I do believe that if you have influence or power, you should lead by example and do correct things. I don't believe you should just, reap all the benefits and then just run away from responsibility. But this content creator, yeah, he's doing things the wrong way and stuff like that. But I guess what I'm seeing is that he's trying to make ends meet. He's trying to set up his lifestyle. Whether he did that incorrectly or not, we can see that. But the guy is trying, And I guess he's in a weird spot right now where he's begging for money, as people would describe it on TikTok and things of that nature. Like he's trying from what I can see. However, his attempts aren't so well received. I think people seem to underestimate the intensity of a 9 to 5 job. Because as an individual who works a 9 to 5 and does content creation, it's a weird way. Like on one hand, I get to work remote and I have to be in the office sometimes. Most of my days are remote. So right now, currently, it's about 3 a.m. and I'm recording content. And there's a way you need to get it to be perfect. You need to have a standard and things that your fans are going to like. You got to make sure that the content is good, but at the same time, I've got to have my job done correctly. I need to make sure that I get my job done well. I need to make sure that I don't get fired because it's how I pay my bills and everything like that, But if I'm being very honest, it can be repetitive doing my 9 to 5. I find it quite boring sometimes, and I do want to leave the 9 to 5, but to get a Lamborghini and things of that nature, I just want to help my family be in a better position. I've been in a position for a long time, and now I'm finally finding my footing in 9 to 5 and content creation. So I'm trying to do that. The transition is never going to be easy, though. It's never easy. It takes time. It takes work. It takes energy. And from what you can see from this individual, he's trying. It's so judgmental of people to assume that he's a bum or he's a loser, or he's a hypocrite. The guy ain't a hypocrite. He always said he didn't want to work a 9 to 5. He said it's okay to have a 9 to 5. And I think he did his justice doing that. He made it visibly okay that it's okay to have a 9 to 5. That was his content. He's now transitioned out of that content to go and do something else. He never dissed the 9 to 5 as he was leaving. He just said, I want to go and do something different. So I don't really get the discourse on social media and the laughing at him and things. I don't get it, you know? I don't get it. I think social media will be social media. They're just going to be negative and things of that nature. But let's be realistic right now. Yeah. A lot of us like our 9 to 5, but a lot of us don't like our 9 to 5. A lot of us, if we had the option, we would leave the 9 to 5. The problem is, how do we leave the 9 to 5? How do we make money outside of a 9 to 5? How do we start a business? And there's this period where you're looking for ways, trial and error. It's frustrating. And I pray that everyone who's trying to go from a 9 to 5 to making money on their own, I pray nothing but success and good blessings for you. But understand this, it's difficult, right? We are all trying every day, and if we had it our way, we will not do a 9 to 5 and stuff like that. But this is the reality. We have to do it. I think one thing people have to come to an understanding and accept is that, there's people out there who do not like the 9 to 5. And most of us are doing it just because we have to pay bills. None of us want to be in a 9 to 5 or go in 5 days a week every single day just to get paid a good salary and stuff. It depends on what you do. I get paid a good salary because I picked a good career and I'm set up for life with that career. At the same time, though, I also want to make content creation money. So it's like, what's the deal? The guy's trying his best. He doesn't have a good look right now. I won't lie. You never ever want to beg for things on TikTok. You just never do. I feel like he should have planned it a lot better. That's all I can really say about him. But the point is, it's like, go easy on the guy. Like he is a human at the end of the day who's trying his best. We don't know the mental battles he's going through. We don't know what made him quit his job. We don't know fully the extent of what he thinks of himself. Mental health is a real thing, and from the looks of it, for him to do what he's doing, he must really want to change for himself, and I respect him for that. I think he should have planned it a bit better, but I respect him for that. But the guy did his due diligence, whereas he made it very clear that content creation is a good thing and 9 to 5 is a good thing. He never dissed either one, so I just don't really personally get it. Unless you guys have a certain way of seeing it. Am I missing something here? I would be interested in hearing your opinions and thoughts about this situation. With that being said, my people, like, comment, subscribe. With that being said, God bless, take care, and I'll see you guys next video.